Hello, welcome to the Nottingham Buddhist Center. My name is Rachel. I'll be leading the meditation today. As always, feel free, please say hi in the chat if you'd like to, so I know who's here. And if you'd rather not, that's fine as well. So today I'm going to be leading something called the Metta Bhavana meditation, which just means the cultivation of loving kindness. And we teach two different meditations here. So I'll be doing this meditation this week, and then next week we'll be teaching the mindfulness of breathing. And these two meditations work really well together. I think they sort of come across two different aspects that really kind of come together and work together in meditation and in Buddhism in general. So I'm going to, what I'll do is kind of lead us through, sort of talk us through the meditation before we start, so you know the different stages. And then I'll also lead us through as we go along, so you don't need to remember everything that I say or anything. I love this meditation actually, and I haven't always. So it's a little bit more, if you've done the mindfulness of breathing already, it's a bit more, the Metta Bhavana that we're doing today is a bit more, I always think it's a bit more, there's more images involved. So we're going to bring people to mind, and we're going to cultivate loving kindness towards them. So in a sense, I say images, it doesn't have to be images. Some people are visual, and that's images of people will come to mind. But really, it's just whatever sense you have of these different people. So it's just allowing that sense of that person being with you, however that comes up for you. But there's a bit more, I guess, a bit more thought can sometimes come into the Metta Bhavana than the mindfulness of breathing. I think because the mindfulness of breathing is so sensation-based, or is based in the body a bit more. So I really encourage you today with the Metta Bhavana to go ahead and play with those images and things that come to mind, but also don't lose touch with your body. I think it's really important not to lose touch with your body in either of these practices. So and I'll try to kind of guide us that way as we go along. But I was saying how much I enjoy this practice and love this practice. And particularly I'm looking forward to today, actually. I think I can use a bit of Metta Bhavana today. Because I'm just feeling a bit, not quite sure. There's some sort of, let's say sort of a bit of a low mood or something in my experience. And I think that metta, bringing metta towards that is a really helpful thing. Really helpful thing. I've certainly noticed that. It sort of shifts the energy for me anyway. So I'm looking forward to it today. What I'll do is let me talk you through the 5 stages before we get started. So there's 5 stages to the practice. As I said, we'll be bringing different people to mind. So the first stage is ourselves. And this is, it's just fundamental, I think, to the whole rest of the practice. When I first started doing it, and still when I do it, this is almost revolutionary stage to me. It was the first time I did it, I was just really struck by how unfamiliar the idea of sort of cultivating kindness towards myself was. So that's the first stage. And I do think it's really fundamental, that first stage, towards the rest of them. I've certainly found that in my own practice. The second stage is where we bring to mind a good friend. So here we bring to mind somebody who's a good friend, who you'd be happy to see walk into the room right now. Somebody who, ideally, sort of traditionally we often say ideally someone around your own age and your same gender, somebody who and somebody who you have a friendly relationship with, but where there isn't sort of any sort of mixed in complications of maybe sexual attraction or romantic interest, that sort of thing. So yeah, ideally someone you just have a simple, friendly relationship with. We bring that person to mind in the second stage. And again, in each of these stages, we're developing, cultivating loving kindness towards this person. And I'll talk through that a bit more, and as we go through as well. I'll talk through that a bit more in a bit. In the third stage, we bring to mind a neutral person. So this is, I find, a very interesting stage as well, because here we bring to mind somebody who we don't often think of, somebody who we maybe have some sort of regular interaction with, so we can bring them to mind. We have an idea of their face, perhaps, but we might not even know their name, and we don't particularly like or dislike them. They're just somebody who's we run into regularly. So this could be somebody who works in a shop that you go to often, somebody who, you see on the bus. All these examples I use are a little bit different these days, aren't they? But somebody who you have that sort of casual connection with. And so we're going to keep this person in mind, and we're going to develop love and kindness towards this person as well. Hello, Marcus. Thank you for saying hi. So that's the third stage, the neutral person. In the fourth stage, we bring to mind a difficult person. So this will be somebody who, sort of not our worst enemy, not somebody who brings up really strong feelings of dislike. Probably if you're fairly new to doing this, best to sort of stick with somebody who there's some degree of tension, dislike maybe towards this person, some difficulty in your relationship with them. We're going to bring this person to mind, and we're going to develop loving kindness. We're going to cultivate loving kindness towards this person. And then the final stage, the fifth stage, we bring, it's kind of two parts to the fifth stage. At the first part, we bring all these four people together. So ourselves, the good friend, the neutral person, the difficult person. And we try to equalize, we sort of keep all these people in mind at once, and we try to sort of equalize our good wishes, our loving kindness towards these four people. And we kind of play with that. Then we move on from those four people to broaden out more and more to, maybe people in the area around us, people in the city, people in the country, and we continue to broaden our sort of awareness and good wishes until we eventually reach all living beings. Yeah, that's the aim of the fifth stage. Okay, so I've sort of walked you through the stages and who goes into each stage. I want to say a couple of words about the practice as a whole in general, so what we're trying to do with the practice. So it's called the cultivation of loving kindness, the metta bhavana. So just a word about that word cultivation, actually. So I think that's a really important word, because when we cultivate something, if you picture sort of cultivating a garden or cultivating land for growing things, when we cultivate, we don't make anything happen. And that's actually going to be really my kind of theme for today, I guess, is we're not trying to make anything happen in this process, because we can't. But what we are doing in cultivating is we're setting up conditions. So, we're doing what needs to be done to the earth. We're allowing water to land. We're allowing sunshine to land. You see my limited knowledge of sort of gardening, but this, in cultivating, we're preparing things, putting the seeds in, planting the seeds to allow something to flower and grow. And that's what we're doing. We're preparing, creating conditions to allow loving kindness to appear and to move through. So we're not making anything happen. And the other thing I just want to point out about the word loving kindness, because I often think about this in sort of two parts. So there's the loving part, which to me is sort of a feeling. And then there's the kindness part, which to me is more of an intention. So Yeah, so we're cultivating both of those things, and the intention part. That's something I think we can have a bit more control over. It's something that we can sort of decide to do to some degree. Kind of play with that. So yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say really about it before we get started. So why don't you get yourself into your meditation posture? So a posture where you can be comfortable for about, what are we looking at? Probably about 35 minutes. We'll sit for without moving, as much as possible without moving, because the more we can be still, stillness in our body allows stillness in our mind. So we're trying to find that kind of posture that we can be comfortable and aware in for 35 minutes without moving as much as we can. So that said, once we find that posture, if we're uncomfortable, if you do need to move, just move and get yourself comfortable again, and then try to be still again. So that's what we're trying to do. I'm sitting in a chair today. So in a chair, what I'd like to do is keep my feet flat on the floor. I try not to use the back of the chair usually when I meditate. That way I can just use the seat to let my spine rise up from the seat just naturally. And it helps me to be more aware as well. Place my hands, you can't see really, I'll see if I can tilt this a bit. So my hands are down here, they're resting in just a blanket that's folded around my waist. And I find this to be more comfortable than putting my hands, say, on my lap, because with my hands on my lap, it kind of pulls my shoulders forward and I end up slouching. With my hands back here, it just more easily, naturally keeps my shoulders in a comfortable position. So I would recommend that. But again, it's about finding a posture that works for you to be still in and comfortable and aware. Okay, so finding your posture. And just really beginning to settle into that posture. Letting your eyes close if you're comfortable doing that. If you'd rather keep your eyes open, then just maintain kind of a soft gaze, a little bit in front of your feet maybe. Just for a bit before we start the Metta Bhavana proper, we'll do a bit of a body scan. So we'll just check in with our bodies, get ourselves grounded and ready for the practice. So just feeling your weight on the chair or the stool or cushion, whatever you're sitting on or lying on. And just letting your weight drop down through the points of contact with the ground beneath you. And just doing a quick check-in with yourself. How is your experience right now? Just noticing your body, your mood, any thoughts, sensations, just a general check-in with your experience. Without judgment, just allowing your experience to be as it is right now. And if you notice a lot of thoughts, That's fine. Just note that thinking is happening. And begin to bring your attention to your face and your head, your neck. Just the sensations in the actual face. So maybe noticing around your eyes, around your mouth, softening any tension you find there. And allowing your jaw to be soft, your throat to open, and the muscles at the back of your neck to relax. And then just noticing your shoulders and your upper back. Just letting go of all the tension that you can that might be there. And coming down through your arms, your hands, noticing sensations in the arms and hands. And letting the arms just hang loosely from the shoulder sockets. And now just coming down through your chest area and your solar plexus, down through your belly, your middle of your back. And as you go, just noticing sensations, relaxing tension as much as you're able. And coming down now through your lower belly, your lower back, just sinking down into your pelvis, your sitting bones, on whatever's supporting you. And just noticing all those sensations and softening any tension you find. And then coming down through your upper legs, your thighs, your hamstrings, down through your knees and your lower legs. And again, noticing any tension, letting that go. Just noticing whatever other sensations are happening in the legs. Perhaps the feel of the clothes on your body, temperature, any discomfort or relaxation that you notice. Just seeing what's there. And finally coming to your feet on the floor or wherever your feet are in your posture. Lots of sensations in the feet, just noticing what all is happening there. And now just take a moment or two to be aware of your body as a whole. So from the top of your head down to the bottom of your feet. even maybe just a little bit of space around your body. Just seeing what you can be aware of with just a soft, sort of gentle awareness. So now coming to your heart area, somewhere in the center of your chest. And yeah, just bringing a very soft gaze to the heart. Noticing what sensations you feel there. Is there a tightness, hardness, openness? Just getting curious about sensations in the heart area and not trying to force anything. Just noticing what you notice. And we'll begin with the first stage of the Metta Bhavana. So in this first stage, we're going to bring ourselves to mind. And in a way, we've already been doing that through our body scan. So in a way, really, we are just turning our attention to our experience, a present moment experience, with an open heart, with a gentle wish that we will be well. So there are traditional phrases that you can use in your mind to keep yourself, well, to keep coming back to this wish. And they go like this. May I be well. May I be happy. May I be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. Just allowing those words, if they're helpful, to be there in your experience. And more than the words, allowing their meaning to filter in to your heart. So developing an intention of wishing yourself well, wishing your experience well. That includes allowing your experience to be just as it is right now. If you have a busy mind, looking at that with a gentle gaze. What is a busy mind like? Wishing it well, wishing yourself well. If there's discomfort in a particular part of your body, as much as you can, allowing that discomfort to be there, looking at it with gentleness and kindness, wishing it well. And not trying to make anything happen in this process. We're not trying to make the busy mind go away. We're not trying to make discomfort go away. We are literally accepting them, really looking at them gently and with love. And then we can notice what happens. Now we'll move on to the second stage of the practice. So here we bring to mind a good friend, someone you'd be very pleased to see right now, someone with whom you have a simple, friendly relationship. And as you bring this person to mind in whatever way works for you, just notice the response in your body, in your heart and mind to this person's presence. And whatever that response is, it's fine. Again, allowing that response. Looking at it gently, softly. And then we begin to wish the good friend well. Again, as with ourselves, this involves just really allowing that good friend to be as they are. And to see them fully with an open heart. And to just wish the best for them. So again, if it helps you to come back to phrases, you can come back to may they be well, may they be happy, may they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. And again, remembering that we're not trying to make anything happen. We simply bring this good friend to mind, wish them well, and see what happens. And just remembering to stay rooted in your body. So maybe bringing some attention to your heart area, shoulders, yeah, just noticing your experience as you wish your good friend well. Now we'll move on to the third stage of the practice. And here we bring to mind a neutral person. So someone who you can bring to mind, you have some sense of, but who you don't have a particular like or dislike for. Someone who, remains quite neutral in your experience. And sometimes this is actually the hardest person in the practice to stick with. Because our minds can get a bit bored. This person isn't really of interest to us. I've actually found it to be one of the most enlightening stages of the practice, actually. When you think about it, what is it, maybe 99% of the people in the world really belong in this category to us because we don't know them. But yeah, as you bring this person to mind, bring them into your experience, just noticing what response there is, if any, in your heart and mind. and beginning to wish them well. May they be well, may they be happy, may they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. And then just sit back and notice what happens when you wish these people well. Remembering to stay connected with your body and your heart. Bring a very gentle awareness of your experience. And if necessary, just bringing your mind back to the neutral person. Letting them be there in your heart. And just wishing them well. And then we'll move on to the fourth stage of the practice. Here we're going to bring to mind a difficult person. Again, just someone who there's a bit of difficulty in your relationship with them. There's a bit of tension. And again, as we bring this person to mind, we're just going to notice the response in our heart and mind. Really, really gently. a lot of kindness towards ourselves as well as this difficult person. May they be well. May they be happy. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. And just noticing your response to wishing this difficult person well with kindness and love. And if at any points you find it's too difficult to have the difficult person in your experience, then just allowing yourself to go back to the good friend for a bit. You just bask a bit in the good friend, wishing them well. And then when you're ready, coming back, having another go with a difficult person. Just keeping connected with your body. Noticing what's happening in your heart. And without trying to make anything happen. Really just noticing what is there with kindness, softness. We'll move on now to the fifth stage. So here we start by bringing to mind the first four people. So yourself, the good friend, the neutral person, and the difficult person. And as we sort of sit with all four people, we just play with equalizing our good wishes to these four people. And just seeing if you can wish the difficult person as well as you wish the good friend. As well as you wish the neutral person and yourself. Just seeing if you can do that, or what that's like. What is that like? Again, without trying to make anything happen, sort of a gentle well-wishing for all four people. And then we begin to expand out our circle of well-wishing. Start with the people that are in the same living space as you. Moving out to your block, to the city, to the country, moving out to the whole world at this time. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. May all beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. Just allowing that wish to be in you and in the world right now. And in a moment, we'll begin to draw the meditation to a close. Just taking your time with this. Just allowing your attention to come back into the room. Sensations in your body, your feet and your hands perhaps. Noticing sounds. And then when you're ready, you can open up your eyes. So I hope everyone's well. there are any questions or anything that came up for you in your meditation, do please get in touch either in the chat or by emailing the Buddhist Center. So it's info@nottinghambuddhistcenter.org. Yeah, we'd love to hear from you. And thank you, Lynn. Yeah, I'm going to say a couple words about the center and how we run. So, of course, we're currently closed. We had physically closed. We're doing as many of our activities online as we can. And it's £1,500 a month, I think, that we normally get through. We have a Dana Bowl at the Buddhist Center, which is Dana just means generosity. And it's how we've run the center for 23 years. So basically that means we don't charge for any of our classes, any of our meditations. We want them to be available to everybody. And we give that freely. But we rely on donations to keep the doors open and to keep activities going. We have 3 sort of full-time Buddhist teachers who we support at a very modest income. Anyway, so what I'm saying is if you're able to give a little bit financially today to the center, or a lot, that would be lovely. And if you're not, then please don't, and please just keep accessing these resources because that's what they're there for. There's a link below here if you would like to give. Oh, thank you for the nice comments. That's lovely to see. Yes, I believe that is everything I can think of at the minute. Do check out our website for to see what's going on at the center. We are still figuring out, sort of as we go along, how we can reopen. So any new activities that we're doing either online or as we start to maybe do things in person will all be on the website. So do feel free to check that out. Lovely. All right. Well, thank you all very much for being with me, meditating with me today. And I hope to see you soon. Take care.